The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Continuing to read Chapter 5, Influences. Invest in mentorship. Paul J. Mayer is another man who served as a mentor to me. Paul passed away in 2009 at age 81. Whenever I thought I was really doing things, really playing it at high level, I'd get around Paul. He was my reality check. What he did before lunch was mind blowing to me. I got to spend a lot of time with him. Paul bought one of my companies and then I did a turnaround for one of his companies. He was a very powerful spirit in my life. After spending a couple of after spending a couple of hours with Paul, hearing about all his plans and ventures and activities, my head would spin. Just trying to make sense of all he had going on exhausted me. After time with Paul, I'd want to go take a nap, but my association with him raised my game. His walking space was my running pace. He expanded my ideas about how big I could play and how ambitious I could be. You have to get around people like that. You're never too good for a mentor. During my interview with Harvey Mackay, he told me, I had I have had 20 coaches, if you can believe it. I have a speech coach, I have a writing coach, I have a humor coach, I've got a language coach, and on and on. I have always found it interesting that the most successful people, the truly top performers, are the ones willing to hire and pay for the best coaches and trainers there are. It pays to invest in your improved performance. Finding and engaging a mentor doesn't need to be a mysterious or intimidating process. When I sat down with Ken Blanchard, he explained the simplicity of engaging a mentor. The first thing you want to remember with a mentor is that it doesn't need to take a lot of your time. The best advice I've gotten in any short clips, having lunch or breakfast with somebody, just telling them what I'm working on and asking their advice and all. You will be amazed how successful business people are willing to be mentors to people who, when it's not even a lot of time. I'm going to read a part again, this paragraph again. When I sat down with Ken Blanchard, he explained the simplicity of engaging a mentor. The first thing you want to remember with a mentor is that it doesn't need to take a lot of their time. The best advice I've ever gotten is in short clips, having lunch or breakfast with somebody, just telling them what I'm working on and asking their advice and all. You will be amazed how successful business people are willing to be mentors to people when it's not taking a lot of time. John Wooden reinforces the point that others desire to be mentors in the September issue of Success magazine. He says, mentoring is your true legacy. It is the greatest inheritance you can give to others, and it should never end. It is why you get up every day to teach and be taught. He went on to explain that mentorship is also a two-way street. An individual needs to be open to being mentored. It is our responsibility to be willing to allow our lives and our minds to be touched, molded, and strengthened by the people who surround us. Develop your own personal board of advisors. As part of my plan to be wiser, more strategic, and operate more effectively, as well as expand the time and interaction I have with high-minded leaders, I've been developing a board of advisors in my personal life. I've hand selected a dozen people because of their areas of expertise, creative thinking ability, and or my great respect for who they are. Once a week, I reach out to a few of them and solicit ideas, run thoughts by them, and ask for feedback and inputs. Having started this process, I can tell you the benefits I've already received have been profound, far more than I anticipated. Give me 1 minute. It's surprising the genius people are willing to share when you show interest. Who should be on your personal board of advisors? Seek out positive people who have achieved the success you want to create in your life. Remember the adage, never ask advice of someone with whom you wouldn't have to or you wouldn't want to trade places. Number three, environment. Changing your view changes your perspective. When I was in real estate, working in the East Bay of San Francisco, I lived and worked within very limited demographic. I saw the same kind of people operating at the same level over and over again. I knew I needed to find an elevated circle of associations in order to go where I wanted to go. I started driving across the bay to one of the richest and most beautiful spots on the planet, Tiburon in Marin country, north of San Francisco. If you've ever been to Monaco, that's what Tiburon looks like, but far quainter. It's a spectacular spot. I would go to a delightful seafood restaurant, Sam's on the Wharf. The food was great, but more importantly, the restaurant was popular with the area's more affluent people, with the area's more affluent residents. Aside from going to Sam's to expand my associations, I'd also sit on the wharf and look up at the hillside. I was mesmerized by the multi-million dollar houses that hung off the cliff. One in particular always caught my eye, a blue four-story house with an elevator and a whale lightning rod at the top. What would be the perfect house? I used to ask myself all the time. If someone could just give me one of them, which one would I pick? The answer was always the same. This beautiful blue one. It was in the perfect spot with the bright vista, the best of the bunch. On my way home from brunch one morning, I saw an open house and thought it'd be fun to check it out. One sign led to another as I followed them zigzagging up the cliffs along the narrow streets. I finally reached the top of the hill and found the advertised home. As I entered and walked up to a spectacular bay window, the world opened up in front of me. The peninsula tip of Tiburon, Angel Island across the bay, Berkeley and the East Bay, the Bay Bridge, and the entire San Francisco skyline over the Golden Gate Bridge in a 300-degree expanse. I walked out into the balcony and looked around. Suddenly, I realized that this was the very house I'd been looking at for years. This was the Blue House. I signed the contract on the spot. My dream house was now mine. Can't really say that I met anybody at Sam's who changed my life. However, the environment had a powerful impact on me. Seeing those homes up on the cliffs fueled my ambition and expanded my dreams. I ended up working harder than I thought I ever would possibly to make those dreams come true, and they did. The dream in your heart may be bigger than the environment in which you find yourself. Sometimes you have to get out of that environment to see that dream fulfilled. It's like planting an oak sapling in a pot. Once it becomes root bound, its growth is limited. It needs a new space to become a mighty oak, so do you. When I talk about your environment, I'm not just referring to where you live, I'm referring to wherever you surround yourself. Creating a positive environment to support your success means clearing out all the clutter in your life, not just the physical clutter that makes it hard for you to work productively and efficiently, but also the psychic clutter of whatever around you isn't working, whatever's broken, whatever makes you cringe. Each and every incomplete thing in your life exerts a draining force on you, sucking the energy of accomplishment and success out of you as surely as a vampire stealing your blood. Every incomplete promise, commitment, and agreement saps your strength because it blocks your momentum and inhibits your ability to move forward. Incomplete tasks keep calling you back to the past to take care of, but think about what you can complete today. Additionally, when you're creating an environment to support your goals, remember that you get it in life what you tolerate. This is true in every area of your life, particularly within your relationship with friends, family, and colleagues. What you have decided to tolerate is reflected in your situation and circumstances of your life right now. Put another way, you will get in life what you accept and expect you are worthy of. If you tolerate disrespect, you will be disrespected. If you tolerate people being late and making you late, people will show up late in your life. If you tolerate being underpaid and overworked, they will continue for you. If you tolerate your body being overweight, tired, and perpetually sick, it will be. It's amazing how life will organize around the standards you set yourself for. Some people think they are victims of other people's behavior, but in actuality, we have control over how people treat us. Protect your emotional, mental, and physical space so you can live with peace rather than in chaos, and stress the world will hurl upon you. If you want to foster a disciplined routine of rhythms and consistency so that Big Mo not only pays a visit to your house but moves in, you have to make sure your environment is welcoming and supportive of you becoming, doing, and performing at world-class level. While we are on this topic of world class, the next chapter, I want to help you take everything you've learned thus far and give you the secret to now accelerating your results. Getting greater results with only a little more effort may feel a little like cheating, like an unfair advantage. But who said life was fair? Summary action steps. Identify the influence the input of media and information is having on your life. Determine what input you need to protect your glass or your mind from and how you're going to keep your glass, your mind regularly flushed with positive, uplifting, and supportive inputs. Evaluate your current associations. Who might you need to further limit your associations? Who might you need to completely disassociate from? Strategize ways you will expand your associations. Pick a peak performance partner. Decide when, how, regularly, and what you will hold each other accountable to, and what ideas you will expect the other to bring to each conversation. Identify the 3 areas of your life you are most focused on improving. Find and engage a mentor in each of those areas. Your mentors could be people who have accomplished what you wish to and with whom you have brief conversations, so that they could be experts who have written CDs. Your mentors could be people who have accomplished what you wish to and with whom you have brief conversations, or they could be experts who have written CDs, books, and recorded their ideas. Thank you for listening to The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. I will continue to read chapter 6 tomorrow. Sorry if I was too fast today. Apologize. Thank you.